experiences help build you.
And certainly does. Your yes is meaning yes, the no is meaning no's. I hope you've noted that one there. I'll get to the callers, Pilani and Russell. We come to you in just a second. Mashila, hi, from Bushbuck Ridge. Let's just get to Mashila. In fact, okay, you're on the air now. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, Mashila, go for it.
Yes, I don't want to hang on for a long time, but I actually just wanted to respond to, the ignorant comments that were made by the lady that has just spoken.
All right,
to you.
But why don't you ask, because, Andile has responded already. It was directed to him. What would you like to ask him?
Yeah, but no. I actually really just wanted to really paint the picture that it is really very tough for black students really to get into these universities, because surely there have been a lot of obstacles. Like myself in 1978, I wanted to do engineering in the University of Cape Town. I applied to University of Natal and VET, but I did not qualify just because of the point system. But I ended up having to go through the back door and still do the engineering, and I never failed. So there are problems with the black schools because of the apartheid legacy that actually made life difficult for black students to actually access some of those professions. And again, if you talk about black students from the rural areas, when you have to go to University of Pretoria, you must pay tuition, you must pay accommodation, and while other, the population groups, they just walk to the university. They just pay
fair enough. It's a good point you make.
And all those things, they come into the picture, of the kind of access that we have to this specific institution.
I tell you what, Mashila,
the good lady must understand those kind of situations.
Okay.
That we are trying to correct those things.
Right. Mashila, of course, the focus today very much on Andile Khumalo, but what we'll do is maybe in the next week or two, let's just talk about access to universities for people in the country, and then I think your points will be absolutely critical. But thanks for bringing it up anyway, right? Let's move on to Pilani in Johannesburg. Hi, Pilani.
Hi, Ashraf. How are you?
I'm terrific. Very good.
I'm great. I'm very happy that you're having Andile Khumalo. It's one of the guys that played a very positive role in my career. At the end of 2002, I think I was finishing my first year at Durban Westville. I attended VEC work at Deloitte. Andile was finishing his articles with Deloitte in Durban. He was one of the guys running the VEC work with a lady called Kumi, if I remember correctly. And with that experience of meeting guys like Andile, Wiseman Zondis of this world, the Lutulis of this world, who Andile would know what I'm talking about, the Lwazi Bams, we got inspired to start the first Abasa student chapter at the University of Durban Westville, then, now UKZN. So it's just to say that organizations like Abasa actually play a huge role, because at the time that I started my accountancy degree, I'd never met an accountant. I had no idea what they did. Fortunately for me, or unfortunately for Andile, I suppose, the exposure then told me I don't want to be a CA, so I'm actually in management consulting. I didn't pursue the CA route after that.
Okay.
However, the positive impact of all my friends who are now CAs, young men who otherwise probably would not have succeeded as such. So it's just to say to him, we must continue. We must not be discouraged by the comments made by that ignorant lady earlier on. And there's still a lot more that Abasa and APSIP and BMF and BLA can still do.
Oh, I think thanks for that call, Pilani. Appreciate it. Let's get a response in terms of being discouraged, Andile. I think I can speak on your behalf. I think leadership, you have to be a bit thick. I don't think anything of those types of things are going to offend you, are you?
Nah. I mean, I get them every day. But just to Pilani's points, first of all, I'm not disappointed as a management consultant. If anything, I'm quite excited that there's at least a role that some of us could have played in encouraging him. And the people he mentioned are as good his role models as they are mine. So he inspires me by being able to tell the story that he's just told.
Okay, I want to pick up another caller, Russell in KwaZulu-Natal. Hi, Russell.
Hi, Ashraf, and hi to Andile. I'm a chartered secretary. I don't think I had enough brains to become a chartered accountant. But I agree.
Did you battle with the board exam? Okay.
Sorry.
Did you battle with the board exam like everybody else does? Yeah.
Look, I think it was more of an opportunity thing at the time. It was easier to become a chartered secretary, and then I did cost and management accounting. But I agree with the comments that have been made of how difficult it is for black students. I totally support Andile and the black accountant institute that he's setting up.
Yeah.
And I'll just give you an example. I fought in Pietermaritzburg way back in 1973 for black students to be taught mathematics. There wasn't a single child that we could get into, I was with Nestles at the time, into doing any form of work in the to become a welder or anything like that, because the youngsters didn't learn mathematics. And folks don't realize just how difficult it is for the children in the black community to go to, as you've mentioned, to go to these universities that are all in different places.
Yes.
And my question to Andile is how can I and others help to mentor and to foster through vocational guidance the desire amongst black students to become accountants, chartered accountants.
Great offer. Let's try and get a response before we get to news time. Thanks for that call, Russell. Right, at the back end of that, I mean the offer to assist. Andile, your thoughts?
I think first of all, the offer to assist. Thank you for the offer to assist. Number one, but number two, I'd like to implore to all South Africans, including the caller, that our ability to help at times it may seem to be that one needs all sorts of things and all sorts of organizations out there and programs out there to help. Your local university is filled with hundreds, if not thousands, of students who all they need is mentorship and support. Where they don't have enough support structure back at home, in their communities or in their families, to give it that extra oomph or that extra bit to, I read a tweet this morning, to move it from try to triumph. So first of all, to avail yourself to your local institutions, number one, I think is the easiest thing to do. Number two, like Abasa, there's many opportunities like organizations like Abasa where you can make yourself available. We've got student chapters pretty much across the country at universities. We can also log on to abasa.org.za where you'll have an opportunity to drop us an email if you are out there in the country and would like to assist in any way. We've got a mentorship program that's currently running throughout the country where we mentor all the way from university trainees and also post-qualified mentors.
So many ways for him to participate indeed. All right, thanks for that. We will continue talking, of course. Andile Khumalo is in the spotlight, and we'll certainly talk about some of his issues, personal issues in his life that have excited him. Besides the one or two important ones that he brought up already, someone suggested ask about Given Makari. So, okay, we'll do that after the news headlines, which is right now.
Thank you, Ashraf, and good afternoon. The United Nations cultural and scientific body UNESCO has decided to admit Palestine as a full member after a vote at UNESCO's headquarters in Paris. A large majority voted in favor of the move, despite strong opposition from the United States and Israel. COSATU Secretary-General Zwelinzima Vavi has welcomed the local procurement accord. Business, labour and community organisations have signed an accord in Pretoria calling for 75% local procurement of goods and services. And the Socialist International Commission for a Sustainable World Society says the world needs progressive politics and politicians to tackle the challenge of climate change. Details of these and more at 4 o'clock.
Right, we have Andile Khumalo in the spotlight, president of Abasa, the Advancement of Black Accountants of South Africa, also CFO of MSG Africa Investment Holdings, as well as chairperson of Metropolitan Republic. Let's talk about MSG, because that's your tie-up with Given Makari. So someone suggested, I can't see the name right now. What's it like? In fact, actually, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's check on what's happening with PM Live first before you answer that one there. Dan Lewington, what's up on your show? I thought I'll sort of overtake you and pass you by, but I can't ignore you, can I?
I was wondering if you'd forgotten about me. Thanks, Ashraf. What's coming up on PM Live? United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, has voted to admit Palestine as a full member. That took place a little bit earlier today in Paris. Top story from the continents are concern after a Kenyan airstrike on a camp packed with displaced women and children, killed at least 3 and wounded scores in southern Somalia. And the Supreme Court of Appeal will hear arguments on the corruption conviction of former National Police Commissioner Jackie Selebi in Bloemfontein this week. And the UN expects the world's population to reach 7 billion by today, and global resources are being stretched thin to meet the growing demand. That's according to the United Nations. More details on those stories coming up on PM Live in 28 minutes' time. Ashraf, back to you.
Thanks for that, Glenn. Right, now, no overtaking, or maybe attempted overtake with Glenn, but I certainly can't do that with Rob Ben.
Yeah, thanks, Ashraf. Afternoon, everyone. The N14 coming out of Pretoria has been closed most of today because of this horrible accident at Euphius Road. It has been reopened in the last sort of 15 minutes. So the N14 is okay, leaving Pretoria, heading south. But there is a considerable congestion on the R101, the old Johannesburg Road. Everyone was having to take that route from about 9 o'clock this morning to come out of Pretoria off that N14. So the N14 open, the R101 south through Centurion under a little bit of pressure. Lights are also off at Fountains Valley. That's just sort of happened in the last 10 minutes. So Christina de Wit and Euphius Road around Fountains Valley, no traffic lights there. So that's going to be a problem. Joburg looks all right this afternoon. Pointsmen are on duty. A lot of talk about pointsmen this morning, and they probably will disappear for the rest of the week after today. But they are manning up some key junctions today. They'll complete an administrative process and are due back on Joburg streets next Monday. So at least we'll get their assistance today. The Mike 1 going south, slow from Jan Smuts into the Crown Interchange. And if you're heading into Cape Town, accident on the N1 just before Monte Vista has just been cleared. It's a little bit slow as you come in from Gil Basson, passing N1 City as that backlog clears out of the way. Rob Byrne, SAFM Traffic Watch.
Afternoon Talk on SAFM.
Right, Andile Khumalo is in the spotlight. There's a question from Sipiwe Moyo via Facebook saying, what's it like to work for Given Makari? And your answer?
Ah, no, that's my brother, man. That's my Shangaan brother. It's amazing. He is everything you'd want in a business partner. He and Simpiwe had built a business that by the time I joined was already destined for success. And he's an absolute joy, a leader by nature, a very well balanced in all respects with the utmost amount of emotional intelligence. He's taught me a hell of a lot in terms of your ability to lead and your ability to assert yourself at the right times in any particular negotiation. And he continues to lead our business in an amazing fashion. We continue to grow because of his leadership. And, you know, one of the things that perhaps a lot of people don't know about Given is that he is such a baby, you know. He is such an emotional person, and it's part of the reason why he's so special to me and also to the rest of the group.
Well, if it's a baby, he was certainly giving birth to something special. Let's just talk. I mean, by the way, of course, he used to be a talk show host at Metro FM, and I mean, your company MSG has got interest in what, Capricorn FM. Just tell me more about what does MSG Africa do? Then we'll talk about Metropolitan just after that.
No, great stuff, man. We have about 10 businesses in the group. We're invested largely in media, in telecoms, and also in some technology. In media, we own, in terms of media platforms, we control Capricorn FM, the 4th largest commercial radio station in the country. We've just been moved up to 1.5 million listeners as early as last week. That's Simpiwe runs up in Polokwane. We also own a portion of Continental Outdoor Media, the old Clear Channel, the outdoor company. We also own agencies like Metropolitan Republic, the Jupiter Drawing Room in Joburg, the Jupiter Drawing Room in Cape Town, a little agency with great ambitions like Black River FC here in Johannesburg. We also own Curious Pictures, which is a television production business that produced the cutting-edge drama we had recently, Intersections. So we're quite busy kind of the media environment. We've also got into technology of late. We've got some clean energy projects we're running down here in the city of Johannesburg, and also some solar power projects that we think that particular industry can only get better from here on out.
Okay, well, certainly with regard to the agencies from Jupiter to Black River. I mean, we chat to them very often on my Sunday media and marketing show. Let's talk about, in terms of yourself. I heard earlier about, doing your internship at Deloitte, but at what stage did you realize, after graduating, that is, that, you know what, I'm going to make it. I've not only have I studied well, but I think I've now implemented outside just doing the odd tuck shop thing at school. I've made it at a far bigger stage. Was it that moment?
You know what's interesting is that I never thought I wouldn't make it.
Okay.
the interesting part, and I don't quite know where that comes from. I don't think it's all me. Certainly, I'm not that smart, but it never quite entered my mind that there was a chance that I would not make it, and I would not make it, at least to the extent that I want to. So what I normally do is that every year before I start a new year, I always ask myself the question, you know, you are now 25, let's say, for example, is this where you wanted to be at 25?
Okay.
You know, and if I'm a year behind, I got to catch up the next year. If I'm a year ahead, well, I got to take advantage of that and perhaps be 2 years ahead.
So when you were, you know, let's say